60. See, I'm a wee bit organised, even though I've been messing about with sound settings and stuff. Slightly organised. Right. So it should be live. Let me check. Yes. It says we are anyway. There's nothing on the screen. What's happening? What is happening? There's nothing on the screen. Oh, there we go. Okay, it's fine. It's fine. So much for Restream giving you the live video feedback, because it's not working. It's just blank, but if you go to YouTube it works. Okay, can't do that because YouTube doesn't let us, but I've got that there. I've got so much stuff. So much stuff's happening. But we can't talk about it because YouTube will demonetize us.
Wait, for what? Talking about what?
Talking about all the events that have been cancelled because of a certain flu.
You can't.
Like, you can't.
Can we not say?
You can't say it. You can't say it. You can't.
Why?
Because you get demonetized. Because it's fake news, unless it's a news outlet that's talking about it. I'm not joking.
How do you know you get me demonetized for it?
That's what YouTube's doing.
But that makes no sense.
You can't mention the P word either for like Onision. Can't mention the P word.
Yeah,
on
well,
YouTube.
I understand that a bit more, except for they don't do context, and they really should have context.
You
but
can't do swearing.
I don't understand why you can't talk about the sea flu.
Because it's fake news.
How is that fake news? It's real news.
Because you're not a real outlet.
It doesn't matter if you're not a real outlet. If you're...
Look, YouTube's fucking retarded. I don't like. It doesn't matter if you're not a proper news outlet. Your channel gets put onto the demonetization. Not that it matters for us anyway, because we don't get monetized anyway. We don't have enough subscribers. But they not only did they do that, but they also hide your channel. So they demonetize you and hide your channel.
Why can't people talk about it? It's like stuff that's going on.
Ask YouTube. This is why we're not on YouTube.
Why? But it makes no sense to try to hide information about it. Everybody knows. You can't hide it.
Yeah, no, it's not that they're hiding it.
Well, that's what it sounds like. It sounds like they're trying to hide information and people talking about it.
They're trying to stop people talking shit about it, basically, or having theories about it, or fake news type things. And
okay,
stuff.
We'll just call it the sea flu.
It's got the
slanty-eyed flu.
Oh yeah, that's much better. Yeah, that's
YouTube should like that.
Yeah. Talking about that, actually, I don't know if you've seen it, but in fact, I think it was one of your retweets that I picked up on it.
Oh, what did I do?
Song of the South, the Disney film.
Oh yeah.
With Briar Rabbit and stuff. The guy, I was looking into it like a wee while back for my wee sister, because she likes the Disney songs and stuff, and it's Zippity Doo Dah's one of the songs, right? And we had it on video, on VHS. You guys did. I didn't know this, but Disney didn't release it over there in the States for home video, but they released it here, and they released it in Japan, Italy, and Portugal, and all, like, Europe got it. You guys didn't. And I didn't know that, but I seen the tweet, and so I was some guy went, "Ha, you can't stop me, I've already got it in HD." And I went, "Wait, how?" On Twitter, how did you manage to get it? Because I managed to get a copy, but it was really terribly bad. And I tried it. I tried to show my wee sister it, but it was too bad. She wasn't interested. It didn't look good enough to her, so she was just nah. So anyway, I asked this guy on Twitter, "How did you get it?" And he got back to me and he said, "Type this into Google and you'll find it." And a guy had the original 35mm film, and he's cleaned it up and made it into HD, and it's quite good. It's like really quite well cleaned up, but it's not perfect. And he's done it. It's on archive.org, and you can just download it. It's just there for anyone to download, so you can get it. So I was watching that last night, and it's really good. I enjoyed myself last night watching it again. But that's fucking weird.
That's actually pretty cool that he did that, though.
Yeah, he's still cleaning it. He wants someone to help him with the audio. The audio isn't great, and it's version 2 that I've got, and he's working on a version 3. I don't know how long it'll take him because he has to clean it by hand. Like the film. That was a year ago. It was on. The last post that he made was like a year ago about it, and he said he was looking for someone to help him with the audio, and he's also got a couple of people helping him clean the film. And that was a year ago. That's the last he's said anything about it. But that's pretty cool because it's so weird that you guys didn't get it on VHS and we did. Like Disney is like want nothing to do with it for some reason because they think it's racist or some shit. So that's like so surprised. I think it's racist not putting it out there because it's African American folklore from their culture, right? That's where the stories come from. The stories come from black people, right? So to suppress the stories,
well,
to
they
me,
edited
would be more racist. It doesn't need
they
edited.
edited Fantasia too. Because in Fantasia they censored it because there is a little half zebra girl, and she's like, black, but she's half zebra, and she's got her pigtails up in that like stereotypical Southern black person.
If they're censoring that, like that, the whole Songs of the South, then yeah, it's pretty racist.
They censored it because they have all these beautiful half horse centaurs, and the beautiful women and the males hooking up with them and stuff, and like the cherubs, how the cherubs are fluttering around them and start helping them get ready.
No idea. I've never watched it, so.
Okay, well, there's little cherubs that like flutter around the really pretty centaurs, helping them get ready to attract the male centaurs. And one of the ones that like are helping them get ready is the little black girl. And I think her name's Sunflower. Okay.
Well,
and they cut her completely out of it because it's like a servitude role of a little black girl helping out the white centaurs.
Well, this is what
which technically they're like all different colors, but whatever. But they cut her out, and they also they cut the other. They had some other like zebra centaurs in it that like throw some flower petals when the Dionysus, I think, the god of wine or whatever, comes in, and like they're throwing flower petals around. I think that they might have cut them out too, but I'm not 100% on that. But they definitely cut Sunflower out.
And they cut the crows out of Dumbo. That song. What is it? I've never seen an elephant fly.
They should
they cut that whole song out of the new Dumbo because the crows were They had black accents. It's like it's so weird. Like why?
They're cutting anything that could even
Why?
be seen as even slightly racist.
Mm.
And when I think you should just leave everything as it was.
Yeah. Well.
And just own up to it. It was a different time.
Well,
What are you
that's
doing?
what Warner Brothers did with their cartoons. They put out a thing and they said some of these cartoons are just a reflection of the time. Where Warner Brothers doesn't condone any of this, blah blah blah. But we want to preserve them the way they were. Here you go.
Yeah, it's better to preserve it because it's history. It's part of history.
But not only that, right? The Briar Rabbit stories are from the slaves in in the South from America, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's where that's what the stories came. That's where they came from. So to not have that, that's to me that's more racist than having them be depicted as sort of like they're not quite slave. You can the undertones of it is that the white people use the black people as slaves. That's the undertones. It's sort of like they're cotton pickers and it's a South place, but it doesn't show you any of that. It's just implied in the background, and a kid would not know that at all. It's implied that the whites have power over the black people, but they get on really, really well. Like they're not. Like,
yeah, but I think that's the problem. Is it's kind of like showing it in the sunshiny light when it's really was not like that. I think that's the main problem.
No, but it's not about it. It's more about the stories and about the guy, the Uncle Remus, who tells the stories to the kids. That's basically all it's about. And because they are subservient to the white people, then it's racist. But it's not like that because there's only one point where it's a wee bit different. So I don't know if you've seen it.
It's been a really long time, like a really, really long time.
So there's the white kid, right? There's the white kid, and he's basically at the start. They turn up in a horse and carriage, right? And they drop the kid off at his grandmum's along with his wife, and then the dad says, right, I need to go, you guys stay here, I need to go. He might be going to war or something. Maybe it's it doesn't say what time it is, but it sounds like he's going to do something dangerous. He's probably going to join the army or something. That's implied, but it doesn't say. Anyway, so he goes away, and the kid starts crying and trying to run after him. And he tries to run across a bull field and he gets hit. The bull nearly kills him. And the only person that he calls out for when he gets up or awake enough, he asks for Uncle Remus because he wants Uncle Remus to tell him a story about Briar Rabbit again. And at some point, the kid knew about Briar Rabbit because he was hiding. He was trying to run away and he was hiding. And he heard Uncle Remus and the kids, the black kids and Uncle Remus were sitting beside a fire. And he heard them and he was wondering what was going on because the kids were laughing. And he's peeking his head round the tree. And Uncle Remus catches him. Like, he knows he's there. And then two servants from the house run up to Uncle Remus and say, have you seen Johnny? I think his name's Johnny. Have you seen Johnny? He's like, he says, "Yep, tell the whatever the woman's name was, tell her that Uncle Remus is looking after her." And they're looking about like, "I don't see the white kid though." And he's like, "Look, just do it, go away." And then so he sees the kid. He basically goes after the kid, sort of talks him into not running away, and he takes him back to his house to get food because the boy never had any food. And he's like, "That's a long way to go. You'll need to come back with me, and I'll go with you, and we'll get food." And so he starts packing, but at the same time he's talking about a story about Briar Rabbit trying to leave the briar patch, and then so he goes into a story about Briar Rabbit trying to leave and stuff, and then so he convinces the kid through the story that the kid should just stay because it's more dangerous out there than it is staying where he is. That's basically the whole film. That's what it's about. There's nothing racist about it except from wee bits of the subservient thing. But apart from that, there's nothing really that bad about it at all. And then if you've got the cartoons over it as well, like the Briar Rabbit parts are cartoon drawings. Anyway, that's enough about that. I just found it really weird, and I really enjoyed it last night when I watched it, and they've cleaned it up pretty well. Anyway, I've talked too long. Okay. Do you want to do your thing?
Well, yeah, well, actually, because we were just talking about Disney, I have an article about Disney. So, funny enough. I am. I'm grabbing it now. Let's see.
Sometimes stuff just works out, and it's good when it happens. Okay.
So this is called article is called Disney whistleblower told SEC the company inflated revenue for years.
Oh yeah, I read this ages ago. Yeah, published 24th of 2019.
Yeah, 2019.
Yeah.
So this story, a former Walt Disney Company accountant says she has filed a series of whistleblower tips with the Securities and Exchanging Commissions, alleging the company has materially overstated revenue for years. Sandra Kube, I hope I pronounced that right, but whatever, formerly a senior financial analyst in Disney's DIC plus 11.66% revenue operations department, who worked for the company for 18 years, alleges that employees working in the parks and resort business segment systematically overstated revenue by billions of dollars by exploiting weaknesses in the company's accounting software. Cuba says she has met with officials from SEC on several occasions to discuss the allegations. A spokeswoman for SEC declined to comment. A Disney spokesman said the company had reviewed the whistleblower's claims and found that they were utterly without merit. Cuba's whistleblower filings, which have been reviewed by MarketWatch, outline several ways employees allegedly boosted revenue, including recording fictitious revenue for complimentary golf rounds for free guest promotions. Another alleged action Cuba describes in her SEC filing involved recording revenue for 500 gift cards at their face value, even when guests paid a discount rate of $395. Cuba has also alleged that employees sometimes recorded revenue twice for gift cards, both when guests bought the gift card and when it was used at a resort. Sometimes revenue was recorded even though a gift card was given to a guest for free following a customer complaint. For instance, according to the whistleblower's allegations, Cuba's filing alleges that flaws in the accounting software made the manipulation difficult to trace. though the consequences could be significant. In just one financial year, 2008 to 2009, Disney's annual revenue could have been overstated by as much as $6 billion. Cuba's
Oh.
whistleblower filing alleges the park and resorts business segment reported total revenue of $10.6 billion in 2009, according to its annual report filed in SEC. Cuba told MarketWatch she first reported the alleged revenue recognition issues to management in 2013. She said that no one responded to her at the time. She said that she escalated her concerns to a more senior executive in 2016, and Disney Corporate Audit Group um, contacted her once in November 2016 but never followed up. Cuba said she brought her concerns to the SEC in August of 2017. She was fired from Disney about a month later.
Mm.
In October 2017, Cuba filed a whistleblower retaliation complaint with the Department of Labor's Occupational Safety and Health Administration. Disney's response to the department's whistleblower office investigators' inquiry said that Cuba's employment was terminated because she displayed a pattern of workplace complaints against coworkers without a reasonable bias for doing so, in a manner that was inappropriate, disruptive, and in bad faith. Cuba has made 2 additional whistleblower filings since leaving the firm, including one this past June. The most recent tip alleges some Disney employees reclassified guest revenue from high sales tax items such as hotel rooms to lower tax items such as food and beverages, with the purpose of significantly reducing sales tax liabilities in Florida, California, and Hawaii. Mark has reviewed the 3 filings and supported documentation that was sent to SEC. The Disney spokesperson said, the claims presented to us by this former employee who was terminated for cause in 2017 has been thoroughly reviewed by the company and found to be utterly without merit. I mean, that doesn't really mean much.
Yeah, it's like we investigated ourselves and we didn't find anything. It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, I
Nothing
know.
happened, guys. Nothing happened.
In fact, in 2018, she withdrew the claim she had filed engaging her termination. We're
Oh.
not going to dignify her unsubstantiated assertion with further comment. Cuba said she has withdrawn her claim challenging her termination, but reserves the right to resubmit it and continues to dispute Disney's decision to fire her. The whistleblower said she has talked with officials from SEC by the phone and met with them in person on more than one occasion, including as recently as last week, to discuss the allegations in her filings. SEC has also requested additional documentation related to the allegation based on correspondence reviewed by MarketWatch. The pattern of interaction with the SEC suggests the regulator is taking the allegations seriously, said Jordan A. Thomas, a former attorney in the SEC's enforcement division and chairman of libation. I don't know that word.
I don't know that one
Whistleblower
either.
representation practice. As Thomas told MarketWatch, the SEC receives more than 25,000 tips, complaints, and referrals each year, and the vast majority do not make it this far. The fact that the SEC has asked for more information more than once and conducted interviews suggests an inquiry is underway.
I wonder what happened to that because that was like a year ago.
This was like a year ago, but I was looking into this because Disney's stock has dropped.
Oh, their stocks dropped because everyone's stock's been dropping at the moment because of the thing that we can't mention. Like everyone's stocks dropped because everything's been shut down. Like you can't. Like,
yeah, but some of the parks have also temporarily shut down as well, and that's because of the thing we can't talk about as well. But that's why I found it, is because I was kind of looking into it. I was like, oh, what's going on with Disney? You know what I mean?
Aye, Disney is a shit company. Like, but Like
Oh,
they're
they're an evil corporation. But I
yeah,
do wonder. I found that like the most interesting thing because I was reading about like their parks closing and stuff, and their stock dropping. That everybody's stock has dropped. Which, by the way, if you want to invest in some stock, I guess like and you couldn't
yeah,
before because it was too expensive. You
yeah,
can try now.
yeah,
My boyfriend actually like bought some stock, so we own
yeah.
stock now. I feel like
Oh,
a rich person that's
you're a
not
rich
really
girl.
rich at all.
You're gonna you're gonna get rich if everything works out though, because everything will just jump back up.
Oh,
Because that's
we
how
can
it
only hope. We got
works.
it in Ford. We got some
Mm,
Ford. We didn't get very much.
mm.
We're not rich. We got some Ford stock apparently. That's what my
Oh,
boyfriend said.
I wish I knew how to get stock. Because like if I had have got stock in AMD in 2017, uh, their their stock, right? AMD stock went from 15 to I think it's at 40 odd now. Like from 15 to 40 in the last
But
couple of years because their new processors are fucking amazing compared to what Intel can do. And they
mm-hmm.
were the underdog. They were the underdog for like 10 years. And then they came out with the new processors and boom, they challenged Intel. They were right up there with Intel in just one swoop. And now they've overtaken Intel. Like there's no reason to buy an Intel chip at this point because AMD's chips are so much better, and Intel can't catch up until 2021. Like they've not even got a chance to compete until 21. So yeah, so AMD stock just fucking straight up. Um, So yeah, if you got in AMD stock like in 2017, you'd be rubbing your hands right now because you would have been making bank.
We've never bought stock before because well for one
I
it's expensive.
I told my dad this about a year ago, and we looked up how to do it, and it confused me, and it was a wee bit complicated, and then I just gave up. It's like nah, I don't know how. You have to do an online bank account thing or something and
Yeah, my
register
boyfriend did
or
that.
something. Yeah, and then I was just like, but how do I like once I've got the account, how do I set it up and stuff? And by the time I had all worked it out, AMD's stock had basically got to the point where there wasn't a point anymore because they were already hitting 30. So it was like, bit late. Everyone's probably jumped on it. So
Yeah, probably.
yeah, but that was my idea. I was like, fucking AMD man. If you got it back then, you just got some stock. I think it was 15. Was it 15 cents a share or whatever it was? And now it's like 40. I think that's how it works.
That's quite a jump there.
Yeah, it's a massive jump. It's because they just
That is like
fucking
huge.
they sucker punched Intel. No one's seen it come in. Unless you were reading up the tech stuff and you were reading the reviews of the processors they were coming out with, you wouldn't know it was going to happen. And it happened, and then it's just like, holy shit. And Intel has been messing up so much lately because Intel hasn't made a big leap in processors since like 5 to 6 years. They don't care. They're just making them slightly faster. Every so often they make them a wee bit faster. And they'd done nothing. And then AMD came out of nowhere saying, yeah, here's a fucking 8-core chip. And Intel were still selling you 4-core chips for the same price. And it was just like, boom, there you go. It was just like a sucker punch to Intel. And Intel didn't see it come in. And it's going to take them about a year. They're actually having manufacturer problems.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah,
So don't buy Intel stock. Don't buy Intel
No.
stock.
Well, Intel's got so much more money though. Like AMD's like tiny compared to Intel. I think it's the amount of R&D Intel have like spend yearly could buy AMD out, like the whole company. So
Oh,
what Intel spend in R&D could buy AMD. That's how much an underdog
if they wanted to
they are.
sell,
Yeah. Um,
maybe that's the direction Intel needs to go, is just to buy them.
I don't think they wouldn't be allowed to because of competition rules, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. They might have a monopoly. Can't have a monopoly.
Yeah, and that's what it would be at that point because there is only two. There is only Intel and AMD, unless you go into phones and handheld machines and stuff, and then you've got lots of different companies.
Yeah, it does seem like there's quite a few companies with the phones, but the two big ones are like Samsung and Apple, or
Yeah, but they still use the same chips.
but
They
Samsung's better.
they're called ARM processors. And what that is, that's them. I don't know if you want to know.
You can say it, like
Okay,
maybe the
so
people will be curious.
so you've got your normal computer processors that run Windows, right? They are based on x86 architecture, right? It's how the thing works. And the only people that make the chips are AMD and Intel. They're the only two left. There used to be a few. I think IBM used to do it. They used to call their processors Cyrex. They were the same x86, but the only big two that are left now are either Intel. If you go in a computer shop, it's either Intel or AMD. They're the only ones that run the x86. Now, if you go into the mobile phone market, there's loads of different companies that make the processors, but they're all based on ARM architecture. Now, ARM is a company that makes the architecture blueprint, and they sell the blueprint to all these different companies that make the different processors. Does that make sense? So instead of doing what Intel and AMD do, who basically make their own architecture and manufacture, well, they don't sell the blueprint of the architecture, right? It's theirs. That's their thing. So they don't outsource it so that people make the processor. Although they do, because they get the silicon, the people that make the chips. Intel make their own. AMD outsource it to TSMC, who make the chips, but they can't make they can't make the chips and then sell them. Basically, they make them for AMD, and then AMD sell them. Whereas the ARM architecture, I can buy the blueprint for the ARM architecture and make my own chips and sell them with my name on them, right? Because I can do my own little tweaks. Like Samsung does it with their phones. But basically, the underlying technology is ARM. It's not Samsung. And then Apple have their own wee bit, and they have the whatever processors they are in their phones. But it's all still ARM architecture. And then you've got MediaTek, who are another company that do the mobile phone chips. It's all the same architecture though, right? It's just complicated, but anyway, that's how it works. And that's why you've got thousands of different types of phones that all run Android, and they're similar specs, but slightly different. That's basically how it works. And they're all made in China, and at the moment China's not making fuck all. So that's why all the companies' stocks have went down the pan, because there's no manufacturing going on, and if you don't have
Weird.
stuff to sell, you can't make money.
I think it's hilarious. All these companies just put all their eggs in one basket, China, and now that
Hmm.
basket's like infected with the disease, and it's hilarious to me. Like
Yeah,
maybe you shouldn't have done that.
yeah. No, well, it's not only that. Even the little parts, like certain little parts that get made for, no matter what you're building, anything electronic, right? You need to be bits that do things, and a lot of it's made in China. And if that company's not operating, you can't get the part you need to build your thing. It doesn't matter where you are in the world. If you can't get that part anymore, you can't make your thing. Even
And
if you
that's
built,
hilarious.
well, even if you built, like, say I was building a keyboard, right? But one or two
Mhm.
parts, 5 or 6 parts of it come from China, and the rest of the parts I build myself. I can't build the keyboard because I can't get the parts. So it doesn't matter where you actually build the thing. If you can't get your part, you can't finish your
Because
product.
these companies were relying way too heavily on China.
Yeah,
And then they were
and
just catering to the Chinese market too. And it
well,
was
that's
like
because I
screwing
was booming.
over.
Anyway, we will end the YouTube section of the show here. So if you say goodbye to YouTube, we can get that done, dusted,
Oh, okay. Bye, YouTube.
and it's a good segue